Hello and welcome to the webinar today. Today is May 11th, 2016, and we're doing a question and answers webinar today for our Pronunciation Pro students. We do this every 2 weeks, so for those of you who are new to the program or new to the webinars at least, welcome. Welcome to all those who have come before. I know that we do have kind of a big, good number of people that continue to come every other week and submit questions and kind of use this as a really great resource for you as you're learning pronunciation and fluency through the Pronunciation Pro course. So welcome to all of you. All right, so today I'm just going to go ahead and go into a little introduction. If you have questions that you already know you want to ask, go ahead and write those in the questions box. At any point while I'm talking and answering questions, go ahead and write your questions there in that questions box in the control panel. And after I kind of do some of the questions that have been emailed, then we'll get into those questions, and we usually have plenty of time for that. Because this webinar really is about you and those of you who have come and are ready to participate. We really want to give you that time. All right. Okay, so just for those who are new to the program and new to these webinars, this is me and my little family. We have my husband Dan and my 3 boys, Andrew, Jimmy, and Luke, from oldest to youngest. So that's just a few weeks ago. This picture was taken. So summer is coming up quickly and they'll be out of school, and I'm actually very, very excited because I like having my kids around, and they are a big help actually to take care of my little one, Luke. So they play with him really well. So I am just a little bit about my background with accent training. I am a speech language pathologist and have been working specifically on accent reduction and English pronunciation and fluency since, since Andrew there was just born, so about 8 years ago, and have worked with hundreds of students and from all over the world, and have had a lot of experience with kind of the trends of how to train the American accent and how to teach people with a lot of different accents how to manipulate and kind of shape their speech habits, because it really is a habit, a muscle memory habit that we have with our speech. That we have to retrain to be able to use the sounds of American English and the rhythm of American English to be better understood. Nothing wrong with an accent, it just needs to not get in the way of your communication in English. So as long as other people can understand you very clearly, then I feel like you've been very successful in this program. There are a lot of students who then want to take it beyond that. And a lot of that actually runs into the rhythm and getting better and better at the intonation and pitch and some of the reductions and kind of the little nuances of American English. So we do get into that later on in the program, but it's all kind of stepping stones. We want to go one step at a time to learn all those skills to help you be better understood, to be able to deliver your message clearly, and especially to feel confident when you speak that others will easily understand you. Okay, so let's go ahead. Here we have our team members, and actually, I always introduce Gideoni and Andrea. They're very important members of the team. There's also another important member. His name is Jason McKenzie, and he does a lot of our programming and IT help and things like that, but he's a little bit shy and doesn't like his picture up. So we'll leave him out, but I always hesitate because I know this isn't the whole team. There's still another member that's very important, so I want to mention him. All right, so let's just jump right into the questions. So what it's interesting because as I am getting questions emailed to me, and I don't know whether this is because a couple of the last webinars we've primarily focused on kind of some more difficult words in English, but I've been getting emails more specifically about specific words. And so I want to go through these words because those are the questions you have, and I want to make sure I address them. But I also want to, we don't want to just go through the dictionary and kind of recite off all of the words in English to make sure that you have them. We want to kind of group them and identify, okay, what is it about this word that's difficult for you? And how can you watch out for words like that are similar so that you can use the same strategy to correct them? So that's what we want to kind of go through today, because I do have some from Sunny, and then another student emailed me quite a list that we'll go through as much as we can today. And what I want to do is I'll go through it with these words. I want to go through it with Sunny, but then I want you to try it too. So anybody who wants to volunteer to try saying these words, maybe if you're thinking, oh, those are difficult words for me as well, then I want you to try them as well. So let's get into it. So let me unmute you, Sunny. Sunny, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Annie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Good. Okay, so you had these words to go through. Okay, so I did the Ruden phonetics there, but let's go through, and I want to kind of identify what it is that is causing you trouble. Now, I do recognize that the top four have that R sound that we've talked about before. So I'm not sure if that's it, but go ahead and say the first one for me.
Very.
Okay, so yeah, getting that. So remember last time how we kind of emphasized the R, air. So this one we're going to do it air. Air.
Like a spell like air, A-I-R?
A-I-R, exactly. So whenever I have that capital A and R, it's that air.
Air.
Because we're saying A, we're kind of saying that long A sound, so that's why I do the capital A. So air. Okay, so then we put a V at the top, so let's do ver. And then get the E at the end. Very. Okay, get that strong air. Don't lose that strong R. Air.
Very.
Okay, yeah, keeping that strong R is going to be very important. Very important. Okay, so let's try that with river. So, river. Okay, so I just heard viver. So you were starting with a V sound, and we got to get it back into the R. River. Okay, so that beginning R, let's see, say red for me.
Red.
Okay, say her. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. To get that middle R, or that beginning R in river, I want you to say her river. Okay, so what I'm hearing is still viver.
Oh, okay.
Viver. So the reason why I'm doing her is because her has that R at the end, and so I want to make sure that you can go right into the R at the beginning on river. So her river. Okay, don't bring it back. Her river. Okay, so I'm still having you. So when you I don't know, you have a mirror close or something, but make sure that your teeth don't touch the bottom lip. So do iver. Ri. Okay, do that again. Ri. Okay, ri, and then space it. River. Okay, do it again. River. Yeah, do it again. Nope, space it. Do it again. Okay, so that's when you're going to want to really practice spacing it. So I want you to do and make sure Your lips
mm,
are going to pucker a little bit, but not be touching your teeth will not be touching your lip. So you're going to go river,
r-
and do it in front of the mirror and make sure that your mouth, that your mouth is in that position, and your teeth is not, you're not forming that V sound at the beginning, but
oh,
it's the R. Okay.
so this word is two syllable. River.
Yes. So I didn't put that. Oh, I didn't put that space in between those two. So what you want to do? So say this for me: giver.
Giver.
Uh huh. Rivet.
Vivid.
Okay, so that's what's happening is
Vivid.
still hearing vivet. So it's
Oh,
that V that's causing problems for you. The
okay.
R
So
and the
now,
V. So anytime you
oh,
have an R and a V together, you have to be very careful that the R doesn't become a V.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Uh,
so R's and V's,
mm,
be very careful when they're in the same word. So like thrive. Say that for me.
I
Thrive.
had I had problem with that word too. Thrive.
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 There you go. Yeah, so you're able to get that. How about drive
Dry.
and get the V at the end? Drive.
Drive.
Uh-huh. Okay, so whenever there's an R and a V, be very careful about that. Okay, how about this one? The next one.
And other.
Another.
Uh, and other.
Yeah, so
Oh, and and
another.
and another.
And again, I didn't put the
Kind of
little
hard
spaces
for
for
me
the
to put
syllables.
my th.
Yes, so those THs are still going to be tricky for you, huh? Another.
And another.
Good.
And another. So this th is a voice or voiceless?
It's
Voice.
voiced.
Voice.
Yep.
Okay.
And at the end, if we can get to it, I'm actually working on, because there had been a question that's come up about how do I know if it's a voiced or voiceless th. And I've kind of come up with my own rules, but then I really dug in, and I actually have this I have this book, and for those who are on the call can see it in the video cam, but it says 40,000 selected words in English, and it's organized by letter, sound, and syllable. So I've been going through and kind of identifying, okay, what are the rules with the voiced and voiceless th? Is there something I can come up with? Because there are some rules out there, but there's a lot of exceptions to the rules, and so that's why I've kind of been leery of the rules. But I'm actually going to be creating a video to put in the bonus lessons, and I'll actually put it in with the th lessons as well. But just going through kind of what I've found about the voiced and voiceless sounds. So there should be a little bit more clarity on that th sound here
Yes.
soon. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Annie. Because Andrea really had me practice those frequent th sounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's just next one.
Everything.
So that re.
Re. Everything.
Okay. And what do you notice? There's
Every,
that V and that R
every,
together, right?
yes.
The V and the
Every,
R.
everything.
Good. Okay. Next one.
This one, is it close or close?
Okay, so that's a good question. So it can be either way, because what I've seen is I do believe that most native speakers probably do a little bit of a th sound in there, clothes, but in connected speech, typically
Oh,
that th gets swallowed up and you don't hear it. And so if you pronounce it as close, like close the door,
mhm.
contextually it will make sense, because hey, will you bring me the clothes versus it's a noun versus a verb, and so it doesn't typically get confused in conversation. um so yeah, most native speakers are going to say clothes, like these are my
Close.
clothes,
Okay.
without the th sound,
Okay.
which makes it easier
Close.
for you guys, because the th and s combination is really usually tricky, like months,
Yeah, yeah.
it gets a little bit tricky. Okay.
Close. Yes. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, Sunny. Does anybody else want to try these words? Maybe if you're having a hard time sometimes with those R's, those vocalic R's, this is a good list of words that can kind of be tricky. All right, Thrillock.
Yes,
Yes. All right. Perfect. Your microphone's working. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm doing very well. Now tell me what week of the program are you in right now?
I just finished the first week.
Okay, good. All right, so you're just getting into it, and actually you haven't even got into the TH or the R's or anything. That's in the second and third week. But let's go ahead and go through these words, and I can give you a little feedback so it can help you. All right, so do that first word for me.
Very.
Okay, so here's what I'm hearing with that. Instead of the V sound at the beginning, I'm hearing a W sound from you, okay? So I'm hearing wary instead of very. So try that one again with that V, very.
Very.
There you go, perfect. Okay, so in the bonus lessons, you'll see a lesson on the V. And I want you to go through that to make sure you practice that position for the V, okay?
Okay.
All right, so next one.
River.
Okay, do it one more time.
River.
Yes, good. Good, okay, next one.
Another.
Okay, another, good. And you're getting that TH sound correct, which I like to hear because that's usually something that my students do incorrectly. Is that something that you have to concentrate to get your TH kind of in position, or is that natural for you?
It's natural.
Okay, good. Okay, so now with that R, you are going to want to make sure that it's nice and smooth and you're not pulling your tongue up to tap it on the roof of your mouth. Okay, so do that again. Another.
Another.
Yes. Okay, next one.
Everything.
Okay, so then that TH sound, I heard more of a T. So everything. Do it again.
Everything.
Good, good. There it is. Okay, so maybe the voiceless TH sound is something that you'll want to focus on. So that's actually next week, in week 2. So be aware of the voiceless TH sound. Okay? Okay, next one.
Clothes.
Okay. Yeah, clothes. That sounded great. All right, good. Thank you. Oh, and you do have a question here, so let me take a look at it. It says this is about voiced consonants. If there's a consonant before a voiced consonant instead of a vowel, should we hold the consonant longer? There's a consonant before a voiced consonant instead of a vowel. Oh, okay, so let me think. There's a consonant before a voiced consonant. Can you think of an example of a word?
No.
Because I'm trying to think. Well, clothes. Clothes. That voiceless TH, it's actually clothes. That is actually a voiced TH at the end. Maybe it's not. Months. A voiced consonant. I'm just trying to think of an example of a voiced consonant next to another voiced consonant. I don't think it happens very often. To be honest, I'm thinking bathes, like he bathes the children. So there's an example of the voiced TH sound and then the Z sound. So both of those are voiced. So what you want to do is, because the ending, we don't want it to kind of get devoiced or voiceless at the end, you just kind of have to hold that voicing out. So clothes versus bathes versus bathes. You can kind of, you want to pull that voicing all the way through. So to answer your question, I'd say yes. Get that voiced consonant and kind of hold it a little bit longer to pull out that voiced ending. Now the key with this is as you're practicing getting that voicing on, then I want you to hold that vowel and I want you to hold that voicing. But in regular conversation, that's going to get kind of dampened down quite a bit. But in your practice, I want you to kind of overemphasize it because I really want that voice to get turned on. Okay, so that's the important part of that about that voiced and voiceless contrast is really turn on that voice for the endings so that it doesn't sound like those voiceless sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. And I actually have a list of questions from Rania. Let's see, Rania, I do see you there, so I am going to go ahead and unmute you. Rania, you there?
Yes.
Is it
Hi, how are
Rania
you?
or Rania or what? How do you pronounce your name?
Rania.
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 Okay, Rania. All right, excellent. So Rania, you had a lot of words that you sent me, and so which is good. I think that it's probably words that a lot of our students are struggling with as well. So I broke them down into kind of smaller chunks so that we can go through them and then get some other students to kind of practice them, see how they're doing. Now it's interesting because I couldn't necessarily see a lot of like trends. Usually I see a lot of like with Sunny's, there was the R and the V and the TH. Those are the sounds that he's having a hard time with. But with yours, I didn't necessarily see a lot of trends. So as we go through, I'll have to identify if there's some specific sounds to look out for, okay?
Yes.
All right, so let's go through some of these. So go ahead with the first one.
Multiple.
Yeah, multiple. Good. So it's first syllable
Multiple.
stress. Yeah, multiple.
Multiple.
Yeah, so the two things in here are the dark L's, excuse me. What week of the program are you in? You and Rania?
The second week.
Second week. Okay. So you haven't quite gotten to those dark L sounds yet, but it kind of has a vowel-like quality to it. So it's where you're not, your mouth, your tongue is not coming up and touching the roof of your mouth. Multiple.
Multiple.
Yeah, and
Multiple.
and you'll want to make sure that P is a voiceless and not voiced, because otherwise it sounds like B, ba ba ba, and pa pa.
Yeah. Actually, I have problem with B and P.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
every Arabic. Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
I actually
multiple.
I have a bonus lesson on the P and B sound, so make sure you go there and check that out. But essentially the trick with the P and the B is when you take a piece of paper and you put it in front of your mouth and do the P sound,
Yes.
then the paper's going to move. Okay? But if you say a ba, ba, ba,
Okay.
ba, ba, and get the voice on for that B, the paper won't move.
Yeah.
Okay? So multiple.
Okay.
Multiple.
Multiple.
There you go. Yeah.
Multiple.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So just practice, you practice for a while with that paper in front of your mouth, and if you're able to get enough airflow to kind of get that paper moving, then you're getting that voiceless sound. All right. Okay, so next one, language. Oh, sorry, languages. I didn't add the is at the end.
Yes.
Languages.
Yeah. Languages.
Okay. So
Actually, I can say language, the singular, but plural, it's difficult for me.
Okay, so say this for me. Jizz. Jizz.
Jizz. Jizz. Jizz.
Okay. Jizz.
Jizz.
Yeah. So it's that
Jizz.
j sound to the is. Jizz.
Is. Jizz.
Jizz.
Languages.
There you go.
Languages.
Exactly. So whenever you have a situation like that where you're like, oh, it's just the ending sound or it's just this middle part, take all the other sounds away and just practice that combination, just those two sounds together or two or three sounds together, and then add in the rest once you've kind of got those problem sounds down. Okay, the next one?
Yes. Months.
Okay, so that sounded good to me. That's about how a native speaker would say it. Months. There's just it's a very subtle th sound that just kind of comes in and comes out and in for that s. Months.
I can do it like close. It's the same idea.
No, months, I would probably not do that. I would keep the th in there
Okay.
because if you have months,
Months.
and you take that th out, it can be a little bit more confusing. Like I said, with close and close the door, and I'm wearing clothes. It's a noun and a verb, and so it's not confusing. But in this situation, months, it's like, is that a thing? Is that it's not a real word, but I think it would get your listener kind of questioning what that was. Okay, months.
Months.
So get that th in there.
Okay. Months.
Good. All right,
Months.
next one.
Okay. Mortgage.
Yeah, exactly. So there's
Mortgage.
that j
Okay.
sound at the end, just like language. So what part of that is kind of tricky for you?
T is silent, correct?
Mortgage. Oh, yeah. So that is the tricky part.
Mortgage.
So mortgage, yeah, that T is silent. We don't pronounce that T. Mortgage.
Mortgage. Okay.
Okay, next one.
Adult.
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 Yep, adult. Yeah, and the
Adult.
second syllable gets
Adult.
that stress. He's an adult. He's an adult.
Adult. It's a dark L or?
Yeah, so that's that
Okay,
dark L.
adult.
Good. As we're going through these, I'm seeing a little more of these patterns. So yeah, that dark L that you'll be learning about. Let's see, I think
Adult.
in week 4. I think. Oh. Yeah, adult.
Oh, adult.
All right, and then this one?
Formulary.
Yeah, good. So this one has what we call that invisible Y sound, and we get into that in week 2, is that form U, when you have a consonant and then the letter U, a lot of times we add a Y sound to kind of transition between those. So formulary.
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 Good. So it's the first syllable stress there. Formulary, which I'm saying first syllable stress, but in week 3 you'll get into the word stress, and you'll see, okay, this is first syllable, second syllable, third syllable, things like that. So the stress just means like where we put the emphasis. So, all right, good. Okay, so I'm going to see if there's anybody else that has wants to try this out. Do we have any volunteers? For this group of words. All right, so I'm going to unmute you, Rania, and then we're going to go, I'll come back to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, Rasu, you there?
Yes, hi.
All right, perfect, hi.
Want me to go through this?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Multiple. Language. Languages.
So, perfect.
Months.
Yes, good.
Mortgage. Adult.
Good.
Formulary.
Okay. Smooth out that R. Formulary.
Formulary.
Yes, good.
Formulary.
Okay. I'm going to come back to this. Say languages for me again.
Languages.
Good, because we want to make sure that languages has that voice Z at the end, kind of languages.
Oh, languages.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay, excellent, Arasu. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's go on to the next kind of grouping here. All right, so if anybody's ever having trouble with the days of the week or the months of the year, this is it here. Okay, Rania, here we go.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do the first one.
Employee.
So this one is a stress. I'm going to change the stress on you. So employee. So we're going to actually stress or emphasize that last part. Employee.
Smart. Employee. Employee.
So do this. Oi.
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 Employee. Oi. Oi.
Ploy.
Oi. Ploy.
Yeah.
Ploy.
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 Uh-huh.
Ploy.
Employee.
Employee. Employee.
Yeah, there you go.
Employee.
Ploy. Yeah, ployee. So it's the same sound as
Employee.
like boy, boy.
Okay.
So if you
Boy.
boy, yeah, ploy, employee.
Employee. Employee.
So I'm hearing employee, and that's why I have two Y's here, is because it's employee, and there's kind of two sounds there that kind of go together. Employee.
Employee. Employee.
Yeah, so that's
Employee.
yeah, there you go. So that's the trick, is kind of slowing it down and getting all those sounds there, and then slowly bringing it together until you can get all those sounds and not drop anything, right? Employee.
Employee.
There you go. Good.
Employee. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so make sure you have those two kind of Y sounds in there. Employee. All right.
Employee.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this one has more to do with the different vowels, and these are the short vowels that we get into in week 6, 5 through 7 is the vowels. But better, butter, bitter. Okay, so we have I. Okay, and if those words you're having a hard time kind of hearing the difference.
Better.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Better. Butter. Better.
Yeah. Good. You got those. Better, butter, bitter.
Okay.
Sounds like a tongue twister. All right.
The last one, can you repeat again? Last one. I'm confused between last one and first one.
So
Better.
So the first one, better. Last one, bitter. Better, bitter.
Better. Better.
Bid. So you're wanting to get the second one,
Bed.
bid, bitter.
Bed. Better.
So that's when you'll want to go through the listening exercise for. So whenever we go through a word, we do or a sound, we do listening exercises so you can hear the difference between the sounds. Because what I'm thinking is that short e, and the short I, your hearing is pretty similar, about the same. So like, so bed, bid, said, sid. You know, there's a few of those contrasting ones, and yeah, so you'll want to make sure that those ones you go through the listening exercise for. Okay. All right. The next one we have February.
February.
Good. So it has that invisible Y again. February.
Okay.
So that R doesn't get.
February.
Yeah, the R doesn't get pronounced in February. And then go to the next one. Yep.
January.
Okay, so that one. January. Yeah, it has that invisible Y. January.
January.
Perfect. Okay, next one.
September.
September. Yep. September. September. So those have the same vowel.
September.
Perfect. Yep. Good. Excellent. Okay. Anybody else want to go through these ones? Okay. Tetsuo. Rania, I'll come back to you. Tetsuo, you there? Tetsuo?
Yes.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
All right.
Thank you.
You want to go through these words for us?
Yes. Okay. Employee.
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 Yeah. So he's my employee.
Here's my employee.
Okay. So there's kind of an employee. I'm trying to think with the stress. I would actually have to look that up. So employee, or the second syllable employee. He's my employee. Now I'm kind of second guessing myself on that one. Employee. Say that for me.
Employee.
Okay. All right. Now better, butter, bitter.
Better, butter, bitter.
Okay. So get a stronger R on those first two words. Better, butter, bitter.
Better, butter, bitter.
Okay. How about the first one? Better.
Better.
There you go. Better, butter, bitter.
Better, butter, bitter.
Okay, so that R, we want to make sure it doesn't end in beta, and have more of a vowel sound. We want it to be better, butter, bitter.
Better, butter, bitter.
Yep. Okay, and you're pulling it back pretty strong. So in connected speech, like it would be the butter is better.
Butter is better.
Okay, so the next one.
February.
Okay, get that wary.
Weary.
Okay, wary. So the W, what's happening is the tongue is pretty relaxed with the W. So, but the lips are kind of rounded there in front. So where, but then we have to pull the tongue back for the R. So wary.
Weary.
Yeah, there you go. February.
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 February. February.
Yep. Okay. So that W and that R, you want to make sure. So let's try that next one.
Okay. January.
Okay. January.
January. Weary.
January.
January.
Perfect. Okay, so when you kind of break it down, then you're not dropping any sound. So January.
January.
So kind of practice that slowly before you start speeding it up, so that you make sure you keep all the sounds in there.
Okay.
All right, next one.
September.
Okay. All right, good. Very nice. Excellent. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to jump into just a question that Sunny has. It says, can the voiceless TH sound move the paper like the P sound? So when we're talking about that p, 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 how the P sound moves the paper, can the TH sound do that? Now, it's not as strong as the P sound, because what the P sound is, it's going to be like a pop of air, where there's kind of an explosion, whereas the TH sound, the voiceless TH sound, is going to be a continuous sound. So when you're saying the TH sound, it doesn't necessarily have this pop that's going to explode enough to move a paper. But if you hold out a TH sound, you will. If you hold out that voiceless TH sound, you can get the paper moving. But it's not a good trick for like when you're trying to do it in a word. Okay, so good question. Let's see, I'm just looking at a couple of these. Oh, Johanna. Johanna, you there? Johanna, you there? So, Johanna,
Yes.
you were saying, were you wanting to try these words?
Yes, I would like.
Okay, go ahead with these.
Okay, it's employee.
Employee. So let's do actually that second syllable stress. Employee.
Employee.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a problem with this. Better, butter, bitter.
Okay, so you're getting the vowels correct, but I'm hearing more of an sound instead of the sound at the end. So we want to get a little bit more a stronger sound. Better, butter, bitter.
Better, butter, bitter.
Much better, okay? You went much better. Getting that R pulled back. Good. Okay, how about the next one?
February.
Yep, that's it.
January.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
September.
Good. Okay, so you'll really want to make sure that those R's, because that get pulled up back, and you did that in September, but I could tell you kind of were pulling that R back, because I think your tendency is probably to say September and kind of have it as an instead of an R, okay?
Excuse me, I have problem with this R. How could I pronounce it? How can I build this voice? R.
Okay, so what week of the program are you in right now?
I'm after the first week.
Okay, so in week 3, you're going to go through there's 3 different R's that we'll practice. The one that we've been talking about is the vocalic R, and that's the one you'll really want to practice. And I have a whole video and worksheets and everything that go through this vocalic R. And then we talk about R at the beginning and R blends, like when it's BR or TR sounds. Okay, so you'll get a lot of practice in that 3rd week. If you're still not feeling like you're getting a handle on it, then email me or come to the webinar, and we can kind of talk about a few other things that you could do. But I think because you're able to do it, when I say, okay, get that stronger R, you're able to pull that R back already without even going through the lesson. I think once you have the lesson, it'll be much clearer to you how to get that. Okay,
thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay. And I'm watching the questions, so if anybody has, actually Olabenga has a question. So let me actually move into my worksheet here. And let's talk about, Olabenga says he's in the library, so he can't talk, but there's 2 words he's wondering about. So I'm kind of on the fly here. So the words, I actually don't know if I know how to, I'm not completely 100% sure about that first one. Skepter. I actually don't know about that first one. I haven't seen that one. But he says, and so these 2 words have 2 voiceless sounds. They can be mispronounced. How is it? Was it question of the second student? Okay, Olabang, I'm going to need some more clarification on this question. Seen, so scepter, maybe that's scepter. But seen is going to be pronounced just as the same as seen. S instead of SC, it's just going to be S. That C doesn't really have the same. Scenic is the same. Scenic. I'm trying to think of any other examples. But I might need a little bit more clarification on that. So write in kind of a little bit more about that question. And I'll try and address that more. Okay, let's get back into here. Hold on. Okay. All right, go ahead. Let's go into this next set here. So, Rania.
Yes.
There you go. All right, let's go into this next set for you. So go ahead here.
Northern.
Do it again.
Yeah. Northern.
Good. So it's that voice TH sound. Good. And then this one, it can be confusing because the way I write it in Ruden phonetics, it's the short ah sound first, called, and then cold. Called. Cold. Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah, so that second one is the long O. That's why I do a capital O, is because it says its name. O. Cold. Mm-hmm.
Cold.
Good. And really...
Cold.
Good. Now the second one, cold, this second one here, it doesn't follow the rules of kind of spelling rules of pronunciation. It should be called. It should be pronounced called, because of usually to get a long vowel you have to have another vowel next to it. But in this situation, it's an exception to the rule, so it gets confusing on this one. Okay? So he was feeling very cold.
Okay.
Yep. All right, next one.
He's feeling very cold.
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hotter.
Hotter, yeah. So you can see how I'm doing kind of the D's for T's for that tap T rule. So when the T is surrounded by vowels, it becomes more of a D sound in American pronunciation. All right, next one.
Okay. Britain.
So this one's going to be Britain. Britain.
Britain.
Britain.
Britain.
Which is interesting because in American English, a lot of times when like we were just saying, when the T is surrounded by vowels, it becomes a D. But so the difference is in British English, this isn't the case. And so when we're saying Britain, we have to say it like the British, right? we can't kind of change that. So I think that's held strong to keep the T, because British English, they keep the T. So Britain.
Britain.
Good. Okay, next one.
Suggested.
Suggested. Good. And that gets sometimes that gets tricky because you have the G and then the J. So the G and the J right after each other. So suggested.
Suggested. Suggested.
Yeah, so doing it quickly. You did it right the first time. So suggested.
Suggested.
So what happens is that... Do it again.
Suggested or suggested.
So we definitely want to still make sure there's a G in there. So what happens is we kind of close off our that G sound in the back, and then we release into the J sound. So you don't want to take out that G, that first G. Suggested.
Suggested.
Yes. So it's almost like you close off your throat and then move into the J. Yeah. Suggested.
Okay. Suggested.
Yes, good. So that
suggested.
Yeah, so after this, just go through these words again and kind of practice that. Okay, next one.
Help it.
So, yeah, help. Helped.
Helped.
Okay, good.
Helped.
So in week 2, you're going to go over the ED ending, okay? And the ED ending, what happens here is when the root word, so help is our root word, and this is kind of either a review for a lot of you or you're getting to that you're going to get to this lesson next week. But so help is our root word. We take the ending sound of the root word, help. So help is P. The ending sound is P, and it's voiceless. So what we do is with the ED ending, we do a voiceless T. Helped.
Helped.
Yeah. So if we did, let's see. So then if the root word is a voiced sound, then we add a D at the end. So like, give me a word, let's see. Called. There we go. So call is the root word. Call. L. We have our voice on. So then we're going to do a voiced D at the end. Called. So we kind of carry the voicing. If it's voiceless, we keep it voiceless. If it's voiced, we keep it voiced. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It will go into much more detail in the video next week. So you'll get it once you go through that. Okay. Who wants to try these for us? Let's see. We have a volunteer for this group of words. Let's see. Okay, good. Let's see. We have Tetsuo again. Tetsuo, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Go ahead and go through these.
Okay. Northern.
Good. Good. I like that voice on that TH sound. Yep.
Cold.
Okay, so then go do the first one for me,
Cold.
and then the second one.
Cold.
Okay, so they both actually sounded like the second one to me. So we want to get the called, all.
Cold.
So all. So do this for me, all.
All.
Yeah, all. And then do
All.
call.
Cold.
Yeah, called.
Cold.
Yeah, so that's much better. It has to be a little bit wider because the difference between all, I'm going to drop my jaw, and get a wider vowel sound there.
Oh.
Called versus cold has more of a rounded O, O,
Okay.
O. So called, cold.
Okay. Cold.
And then do the next one.
Cold.
There you go. Yeah.
Cold.
So there's a difference there. Ah. So you want to get that short O sound, ah.
Okay.
All right, next one.
Hotter.
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 Yep. Okay, next one.
Britain.
Good. Next one.
Suggested.
Okay. Good.
Helped.
Good. All right, excellent. So let's see. Arasu is actually asking. Let me just pull up Arasu. Thank you, Tetsuo.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Arasu, you were asking about harder and hotter. Okay, so let's go through those.
Right.
Okay, so let me actually pull up my worksheet here and we'll write those out. So,
Because when you pronounce harder, it was kind of it was pretty close to what I was imagining for harder. So I think there is a subtle difference here.
There is a very subtle difference. You're right. And the difference is just that addition of the R sound. Okay, so ah and R. So R, R. The only difference is having that tongue pull back for that R sound. So ah and R.
Oh, I see. So can you pronounce both of them simultaneously?
Yes.
So that okay.
Yep. So I'll do the first one and the second one. So ready? Hotter, hotter, and the second one is harder,
Oh, I see.
harder.
I see.
So you kind of can hear that tongue pulling back for that R. Hotter,
I see.
harder.
Oh, I see.
Okay, can you try that? Yeah.
Harder.
Do it again.
Harder, harder, harder.
Yeah, there you go. So I can hear that pull back. So you just have to be very careful to make sure that that R gets pulled back there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good. Okay, let's see. We'll go back here. Okay, so Johanna, we're wanting to try these. Johanna, you want to try these?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Northern, cold.
Here, do that one again. Here, hold on. Sorry.
Cold.
Go ahead, Johanna. Do it from the beginning. I gotta turn up.
Northern.
Okay,
Cold.
smooth out those R's a little bit. Northern. Perfect.
Northern, cold. Harder. Britain, suggested, helped.
Helped. Yep. Okay, so do hotter again for me.
Yes, this is a problem for me. First, I have a question, may I? Here, the second letter is O, and I can hear A. Is this right?
So the second letter is the letter O. You're correct. So like the name of the letter is O, but the sound is ah.
Okay, harder.
Hotter. Yeah. So get that R at the end. Hotter. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just gonna be that R. You're gonna be working on week 3. Just getting that stronger. Because that happens a lot. Tell me where you're from.
I'm from Poland.
Yes. Okay. So that vowel, kind of making that R a vowel instead of that. Americans have this very strong kind of R sound with that tongue pulled back. So that's going to be the difference there. Okay.
Yeah. German on a daily basis because I live in Switzerland, and I think this is all of the American-speaking people say that I have this German influence in
Oh,
Poland.
okay.
Okay, so I try to
Which
make
is
it
interesting.
better.
The R, so German, kind of, they tend to have that R. So your native language is Polish then,
Yes, but German also. So
but
I'm
also
very
German. Okay. And I think it's just listening to you, your R in the middle of the word and at the beginning of the word is sounding great. I think it's only going to be at the end of the words for you. And some
I
of
don't
those
know.
vocalic R's.
Yeah, I know. But I will try my best.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Very good, Johanna. Thank you. All right. Good. Okay. So let me even just think. We did have a few more that we can carry into next week if we don't have any other, depending on kind of the questions that come in. But I'm going to have to wrap it up here today. But let me go ahead and, so we'll go over these. I'll kind of put this to the front of the line next week, Rania, if you're able to come. Actually, let me just run through these real quick. I'll just say them for you so you guys kind of have the idea there. So this one's going to be letter. So that's going to be the same as better. You know, we had better, butter, bitter. This one's going to be the same as better. So letter. And then library, first a little stress, library. And that can kind of sometimes get tricky with the rarey, librarian. So we have an extra syllable there. Librarian. So second syllable stress on that one. Librarian. Library, librarian. So you see how the stress kind of changes from the first syllable to the second syllable in that. Library, librarian. Okay. And those R's, because there's two R's kind of right after each other, you have to be careful about those. Okay. Saturday. Again, that T becomes a D because of that tap T rule. Saturday. Day has that long A, so I write as a capital A because it has a long A in it, and it says its name, A, okay? Saturday. Thursday, this one gets tricky because of that TH sound and then the R right after it. Thursday. So if you want to get that strong and then add Thursday, okay? And then position. This is the position. So what happens is this is second syllable stress. So z kind of gets that stress, which reduces the vowel in the first syllable, pa, instead of po. And I have heard position. People say position, but I'd probably position. But it is very, very much more common to hear position. And that T-I-O-N is usually shun, with that S-H, shun. Okay, and then the last one, purchase. So we have that and then the voiceless chiss, purchase. And sometimes those transitions between those consonants can be tricky, especially with the R, if R is a struggle for you. So purchase. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful for you. If you have other questions, feel free to email me, and I can answer in actually email or the comment section of the lesson that you kind of have a question about, or if it's kind of a general question, you can write it anywhere in there. But a lot of those questions kind of help out other students because other people, just like these webinars, when other people have questions, it's sometimes, you know, it's nice for other students to hear those questions so that they can be clear on those things too. So questions in the comment section under the videos, or you can email me if you feel more comfortable that way. And then come again to the next webinar. We have them every 2 weeks. And you can enroll in the webinar by going to your profile page, and all the webinars times are listed there. Or I usually have 2 webinar times at a time there that you can register just like you did today. And come with questions or email me questions beforehand. And we usually kind of address it that way. So thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you being here today. It's fun to kind of hear your questions and get an understanding of kind of where you're struggling so that we can give you more support in that way. All right, so everybody have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll hopefully see you again here on our next webinar. All right, bye.